My name is Michael Salazar, and this is my Philippine story. So one day on duty, we had a huddle amongst our blockmates, and we had a little discussion. And the talk was on relationships. It's the guys and the girls, and we were going back and forth about what it's like to be in a relationship, what it's like to have a girlfriend, and what goes through a guy's head. And in our blocking, this is when I met Chris. My blockmate and I, Vim, we were talking about relationships. And I shared my experience about Minnie and how I was with her. How I tried to be considerate of the things that I was doing for her benefit. How I tried to stay loyal and not talk to any other girls. And how I tried to keep myself and reserve myself for her. I guess we were focusing a lot on all the good characteristics of what a guy can be, should be, or what girls, would want them to be. And I believe we were talking about how things were being on a two-way street. But I can't remember everything that happened in that conversation. That's basically what I remember, was that I talked about my relationship with Minnie, and Vim was there, and Chris was there. Chris, that's her name, Chris. Well, we're going to call her Chris. She has a great memory, especially when you've done things wrong. And she definitely could correct me when watching this video. Well, anyway, Chris was very impressed by the things that she heard from Vim and I. I believe she said something like her eyes were open after what she heard from the both of us. And Chris at the time, she had a crush on one of our batchmates, and his name was also Mike. He's like my twin. And this is our most recent picture that we've had. Yeah, that's how the whole conversation started, I guess, was because she opened up to Vim about how things weren't going so well with Mike. Yeah, and then Vim was joking around. He said, "That's why we have another one." I indulged it for the moment. I don't know. I didn't see myself getting into a relationship anytime soon. And I knew that, dating, or at least courting in the Philippines, worked differently than what I'm familiar with in the States. So definitely didn't know what I would be walking myself into if I even considered dating anyone for that matter, or courting anyone for that matter. But as the weeks went on, I eventually spoke with Vim, and I said, this is how I want to do things. I want to be able to, meet as many people as I can, or at least to meet this many girls or something by the end of the first semester. And then in the second semester, I would start courting. And I laughed because, again, I had no idea what I would have to do, or what's actually involved in courting, and I was completely ignorant. I like Filipinas. I like Filipino women. For me, I find them the most attractive women on earth. Again, my ex, Minnie, she was part Filipino. But anyway, Vim seemed like the master of courting because he apparently seemed to have it all down, and I admired him for that. And even today, I still admire him because he's always the guy with the plan, and he's always initiating things and moving things forward. And he was a real bro. And I remember I really came to him to really ask him, Vim, how do you court a Filipina?